Oh, I love coming out to the garage in the morning, flipping a light switch on, seeing how everything is dried. Wow. All right, we're ready to... The next step on this job is going to be to get the white sprayed underneath there. Quite a complex thing to get this repair done. Step by step by step. I'm trying to show all of the steps on video. And it looks like Steve's stuff pretty much ready here for maybe one final sand at with 600, and next time he's here we'll get the finish of his choice on there. So with everything in here nice and warm now, the first thing is, once the parts like Steve's parts have sat in the garage overnight, they're nice and dry, but I like to get them up by a heating vent as soon as possible. Let that primer dry up. Now this, the first step on this, and I want to try to explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull off just enough of this back masking to expose this. Then I've got to carefully mask off this part that has the sticker, and then underneath here I'm going to have to spray the white. There's an area here where I'm going to have to sand it and paint it. So it's a little complex. It required back masking, but I thought this is one of the things that's really good. It could show you may have a similar repair on something of yours, and this is a way that's worked for me many times. Now when Dale first brought this over here, I was really not sure exactly how I wanted to do this repair. And to be honest, I didn't even know if we were going to be able to do it within the parameters we have for this job. But I know if you put your mind to it, almost anything is possible. Now it's the part under here that I have to deal with. Ooh, let me get this on camera. I don't need. See, what I'm trying to do is not take any masking tape off that I don't have to. I don't do myself a favor by putting tape on and off more than I have to. So if I can just get the minimum amount on here, and I'm going to have to do this, I probably can get 2 steps on this today. Yeah, that's going to be... It's just going to be a little more complex than I thought it would be. Okay, now let me just show this, because this is going to be the crux of the job. I want to take this piece of tape off. Let's see if we can just get that off in one piece. See, this tape already has some clear over it, so I've got to be real careful about pulling it up. I don't want to pull it straight back if I can. It's rocket science, that's what it is. All right. Oh, we got a nice edge there. Dale, you're going to be very happy with this. That's going to work out fine. So let me just explain now, if I can do this, if I can show this up close. So what has to happen is I want to back mask over. Now see, I let the clear drop out over this, but I only want to do up to the sticker. I'm going to in other words, I'm going to back mask the sticker, and then I'm going to get down in here with some carefully sand this out as smooth as I can, and then maybe using an airbrush or just using a real fine amount of paint, just get this, and I'm just trying to match this. Boy, that is going to be a tough match. I can tell already that's going to be tough, and I got to get rid of this rubber bushing because some of that overspray is going to go over there. Okay, now this looks like we got a really nice edge on that. So what I want to do, I want to get it where the clear ends. I want to be back maybe a 1/64 of an inch, just a little bit, because that's going to help me get rid of that edge ultimately. So I don't want any of the red showing. But they just couldn't have this dent in a worse spot. It's just, but hey. Okay. Now, part of this that's difficult to figure out is to figure out the sequencing of just how you're going to do this. I had thought about doing the white first, and to be honest, I wasn't happy about that. Okay, I'm thinking this is going to be fine. I'm just going to get a piece of tin foil and back mask this, because this is the only thing I want exposed. This is the only spot here where the paint is really bad. Now, with that old back masked, now I'm taking some 400 and a hard block, because dressing this off is going to be tricky, I can tell. I just want to smooth this out as much as I can. And it's just going to take, now see, the reason for using a wood block, once you use that, you move the paper over so you're on a new piece. I don't want to use any water or any chemicals here, because I don't want it to get underneath that tape and cause me to have to back mask the whole thing again. And once this is smooth, I'm going to hopefully I have 3 different colors of white I've found, and one of them looks real close, but because this is old paint, you're trying to match new paint to old paint, it'll be, well, we're going to see. Hopefully we'll get it as close as we can. And this is actually a part of the bike you don't really see. You don't see it from far away anyway, but we're going to see. Now that is sanded as really close as I dare to get to the edge. Let me go mix up some white and see how this is going to work out. Now what we're going to try to do on this job is use an airbrush. Not sure exactly how this is going to work. The airbrush will just get us a better, I hope, a better blend in the paint. Put a little bit down there. I'm just trying to fade this in so it's not so obvious. And what I'll do, I'll let that dry for 10 minutes, give it a second and a third coat. 3 coats is usually what white takes. Okay, now with that drying up, that's going to sit under our heating vent here for a good half an hour or so. And what I think I'm going to try to do is, while it's back masked, just get 1 coat of clear over that. Because the final part then is going to be back mask, and just leave that whole thing out and get some extra clear on it so we can basically blend it in. But while that's drying, Dale did a great job prepping this up. This is ready for a first coat of black. We're going to get a coat of black on this, and then 2 coats of clear, and then that'll be ready. So while we have one thing drying, we always try to get something else going. Alright, that first coat of black is on, and obviously the next thing is to let it dry. As soon as it's dry, we'll get some clear mixed up now. 20 minutes, half an hour from now, we'll put a coat of clear on this. So this is now drying up under a heating vent. Well, we're waiting for, it's usually about a 20-minute, half an hour window. and we can get some clear on that. And we use the 4th Dimension black base coat, which I always have in a gun. I always have a gun in a shop. I never take the black out of it. It's got black in it because we do so many little parts especially. It's just on a $9 gun, let me just give you an example. There's a gun up here that has usually the color red that we use the most, the silver, the whatever, the white. I think that's the white gun. Doesn't even matter. But the black is the color you use the most. Now to clear, and of course I'll get the hardener out of the fridge. I'll mix up a batch, and again, it's not, if we're going to get 2 coats on, I'd like to get it on, get it back down in the shop under a heating vent, 20 minutes later put the 2nd coat on. That's hopefully going to be what happens. Okay, we're ready to see if, get the first coat of clear on, see if it's not going to rain here. Well, every day it's the same. It's like it always wants to rain. Now what we'll try to do is get 2 coats on this, about 20 minutes apart. I'll let this sit down by a heating vent for about 20 minutes. I think that's going to look pretty good. Now after the 2nd coat of clear, of course this has to stay in the garage overnight. That looks like it's going to dry up real nice. It's just going to be perfect, in fact. Dale, I think you're going to like it here. And you can see it. Now, one of the things I always look at the stuff reflecting. If you put your hand here, you can see your hand reflecting in it. I always think that's a test of a good paint job. Now, just something interesting. We painted several parts of this bike. That hugger we painted shiny. The chain guard, this back piece that holds the license plate, we painted that shiny. And I always think the more shiny spots you have on the bike, the easier it is to maintain, number one. And I just think it looks nicer. Just personal taste on everything. Painted that part, that side cover, those were flat black when we got the bike. There's still stuff I'll be doing on this in the near future, but we always have black in the gun. And just to mention one other thing before we go down and work on a tank again. Every time I come out to the garage, seeing these wheels, how they came out, well, I just can't be happier with those wheels. Wow, that is just, to me, that's amazing. Amazing stuff. Now we just want to get 1 coat of clear on that white, and then we're going to put this away. I don't want to get carried away here, but I think that's going to be a good repair. So this day ends pretty much the way it started, by checking out the progress on how things are drying here. I think our little spot down there is going to be really good. And I hope that by showing the steps that I went through to do this repair for Dale, that maybe it'll help somebody else envision how to do it. This part, it's just perfect. Don't touch it, don't breathe on it. And thankfully we're not in the summer where you come out to the garage the next day and bugs are blowing on it, or you'll be a big mosquito sitting in it or something. No mosquitoes, they're too cold now. And I wish that when I look at the weather here, this is the amazing thing we have taken advantage of in between the raindrops, cloudy days. I think we've only had 1 sunny day in the past 2 weeks. But that's good progress. We'll pick this up on the next video, and hope you enjoyed watching. And as I look at my hobby, my collection of things that I've done, all I can say is these are all out on that Windy Ertnowski channel. Thanks for watching.